As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elsmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Welcome to episode 50 of Running the Red Line. I am your host, Brett, and I am here with Mr. Maths himself, Andy.
G'day.
How you doing this week, mate?
Good. Maths has kicked off. Maths Australia, fantastic viewing. Very, very pleased it started. It's the highlight of my year. So, but yeah.
Your year.
Did you mention? I've already forgotten what you said. Did you say what episode number we're on?
I did indeed. We are on episode 50.
50! Oh, wow. This calls for celebration. Hang on. Let's make it a bit more ambient. Look. Let's get ready. Let me just do it at the right time. Let me just see if we can work this into... Can it be seamless? Here we go. It's not even loud.
No, it's not.
Here we go. Come on. 50, baby.
I know. Can you believe it? We have made it to 50 episodes.
I think my room looks quite disco-y. You look like a villain in a dungeon.
Yeah. See, you got that crazy disco light out. All I've got is a like a lava lamp.
Throwing it back to 1994. That's a pretty cool lava lamp, though. Talk us through what's inside it.
It's not really lava. They are like foil X-wings and TIE fighters flying around.
So
do they can see them?
So is it like a snow globe, but like
sort of, yeah, but activated by the heat of the lamp?
So you said it's not real lava. Does that mean inside a lava lamp is real lava from Vesuvius?
Exactly that, yeah. No, they're normally wax, aren't they? So that's what blob's about. It's wax in oil.
I was going to say, imagine whose job it was to go and collect the lava from Mount Etna. A bit of high turnover of staff.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. But yeah, we'll have a party themed. So do apologize if anyone suffers from epilepsy or anything like that. On screen, we have got some flashing images on screen.
Yeah. Talking of lava lamps, I've just a random nonsensical thing just popped into my head about it. There's a data storage facility somewhere. I can't remember where it was. I saw it online the other week, and because of security, and if they just use normal security with passwords and things like that, things can always be replicated by a computer, so it's not 100% secure. So instead of using randomly generated passwords and things like that, they had a stack of lava lamps on the wall.
Yeah.
That from the way that they were moving and the wax was moving, they had a camera attached to that, and that was like the password that they used to get into the facility and things. So you had to.
It's taking ages to get in,
which is crazy. Yeah, but like the way the camera looked at it, it was random, whereas computers can never be random.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Okay. That is quite. But how would it ever do the same thing twice? How would it ever do?
I can't remember exactly what it was. It was either some data storage facility or some like security, like video or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was something to do with computers can never be random, even though they're making a random generated password or a random generated number or something like that. It's never random. It can be cloned by another computer. Whereas wax melting inside oil can be 100% random.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Talking about like ultra highly sort of paranoid states of like security. Have you seen the interview or Louis Theroux's Weird Weekend series?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever seen, because he's like fascinated, or he was fascinated by like America.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the one he did at like Area 51? Is that what it's called? Area 51?
Yeah.
Which is like in the middle of the desert somewhere in America.
Where the UFO crashed. And
it's like ultra high security, isn't it? And there's a massive portion of people around there that really believe in aliens, and they've got aliens in that facility and stuff. What's your take on aliens?
I don't know. Something's got to be out there, hasn't it? But I don't think it's the classic alien with big eyes, little green man with big eyes. I don't think they look like that.
Like the space, like the packet from Space Raiders. It's not like those guys.
Yeah, and they don't smell a pickled onion either. I think there's got to be something out there, hasn't there? There's got to be life elsewhere other than just on the Earth.
And like, no disrespect to humans, but there's got to be a life force more intelligent than humans out there.
Yeah.
With some of the stuff that we get up to.
Yeah, definitely.
I also like the possibility of, as well, I heard a theory of the infinite universe. And if there is a such thing as infinity, then anything you can think of, there is a version of.
Yes.
So there is a version out there. There is a world out there where there are, I don't know, chairs made of cats. There are cat chairs, and I don't know. They're the cats in the shape of chairs. I don't know, but like it's a bit mind bending, isn't it, when you start thinking about the possibility of what is out there.
Vastness of space. When you think we are just a pinprick in the universe.
Another big 50th podcast question for you: if you could afford it, would you go to the moon on holiday?
What, now or when they've actually turned it into a viable thing to do?
Well, yeah, I suppose now, probably not the best time to go. But if there was, let's say, Virgin Galactic, which I think they did actually think of doing.
Yes, they did, yeah.
You could pay, let's say, $500,000 or something, like whatever it would be.
Yeah.
If you could get off and walk on the moon, would you do it and just like go to like a moon hotel?
Moon hotel. Yeah, if I could do it, yeah. If it was guaranteed safe, well, as safe as that could be, you know what I mean? If it was the same as jumping on a plane and going somewhere, but you're getting on a rocket and going somewhere, and you know you're going to come back, then yes, I would definitely would.
I'm fascinated by space. I've always been such a big fan of space. I would absolutely love to see the Earth from that perspective.
Oh, yes.
And know that you're just one of a few people that are so far away from everybody else. It's that'd be amazing.
When we went to America, we went to NASA and went and had a look around.
But you could say we went to the moon on the way there.
Yeah,
on the way back.
On the way there, the plane took a diversion, took us to the moon, and then to Florida.
It's like, we've been going up for a while. Are we not going to level out anytime soon?
No, but we went over there and had a look at all their history and everything, and then saw the launch site across the water. It's incredible. It's an amazing place to be, and just seeing the because obviously the first haul is all about the rockets and the first time they went to the moon, but then when you go into the next one, it's got one of the actual shuttles that's been to the moon. Well, been to space, or not the moon, been to space about 20 times and come back.
Was that Saturn V? Something like that?
No. What was it called?
I went to Cape Kennedy once, and there was a massive. It might have been a replica, but I'm sure it was called Saturn V, and it was like the size of a small town. It was massive. It was ridiculously so big. And that's another thing that baffles my tiny little mind. How do you get that, hollow bit of tin off the ground and into the stratosphere within a matter of minutes? It's absolutely crackers to me, isn't it? The power generated from liftoff and the heat. It must be it must be a scientist's wet dream to lift a rocket off. When everything comes together and everything it must be I would love to see a space shuttle launch, because I think, like you said, in Cape Kennedy or I think it's Cape Canaveral, isn't it? In Florida, if you live in a certain couple of towns around that area, you can literally see the launches happen, and apparently you can feel the blast radiation from like a couple of miles away after a few seconds after it's taken off. So
because obviously, like, the shuttles now can go and come back, but when they first were trying to get to the moon, it was a case of most of it would still be up there. It's only the end pod that would land on the moon that would then come back to Earth. But now the shuttles, the whole thing goes there and back. But the shuttle that is like hanging up,
that's what I saw.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's called Saturn V.
Yeah. So that's one of the rockets. So that's one of the original type. But the shuttles look like a plane on steroids.
Oh, basically. Sorry, I wasn't. Sorry, I wasn't actually listening. You saw a shuttle.
Yes, so there was one of the shuttles there hanging up.
Even cooler.
And basically, the side of it was opened up, and it's one of the shuttles that went up to the space station, the International Space Station, and took things up there to help build the space station. So, like, the main body of it was just a storage facility that they then open up and get all the parts out and everything. So the bits where they live and everything is just the front tiny bit in the nose.
Oh, wow. That would be an amazing sight as well, to see one of those things land as well.
Yeah.
And because they land like a plane, don't they, on a runway?
Yeah.
And they're huge, aren't they, in real life?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
There's a thing, right? I don't know if you've seen, I might have mentioned this on a previous podcast, but there's a YouTube channel that I sort of intermittently watch. I sort of come and go from it. It's a massive YouTube channel. The guy's called Bold and Bankrupt. He's a, 30, 40 something guy. And he's like, travels all around the world. And he's one of those people that goes to, for example, he went to Ukraine during the invasion. He goes to places where you probably shouldn't go. And one of the places he went to during lockdown was Russia. And he went to break into, there's a brilliant video about it, this military facility that was decommissioned by the Soviets because they started to create this space program but ran out of money, or the Soviet Union broke up or something like that. So it never actually launched, I don't think. And this spaceship, I think, is called the Guran. And it was massive. It's so much bigger than any of the American shuttles, but it's just in a storage facility because they can't take it to pieces. They just never did. So it's in this massive hangar, but it's in the middle of like the desert. I'm sure it's either in Russia or Belarus or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. But this guy got taxis and things like that to the nearest place, and in the dead of night jumped a few fences and basically got into this facility. And well, I won't spoil the surprise, but if you can watch that episode, it's well worth it. It's quite a good video. It's quite good. But
I wouldn't think Russia is the place to be breaking into stuff and breaking the law, though, is it?
No, that was pre kind of the war. I think it was about 2020 or 2019 or something like that. But this guy, again, sorry to give you a spoiler, ends up getting arrested because he does actually get found, but he gets found on the way out. And he actually went viral because he got arrested over there. But basically, I don't think it was as bad as it sounds. But it was really, really good video just to see this complete empty, desolate space program that they designed that was just falling to pieces because no one had been there for 50 years or 40 years or something. But it's really, really interesting, especially if you're into like space and that sort of stuff. So nice. Bold and Bankrupt, that guy's name is. But yeah, running podcast as we very often forget. Here we are talking about the Soviet Union's decommissioned space programs.
Yeah, you didn't say whether you believe in aliens.
Oh, 100%. I'm a big. I think there could actually be a bit like Area 51. There could actually be alien form on this planet.
Yeah, just hiding amongst us.
Yeah. But it probably is Elon Musk. Let's face it. But he's just trying to work out how to get home. That's the only thing he hasn't worked out yet. But I quite like. Have you seen War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise and like they made a film out of it. I quite like the idea that they were already here before mankind, and all of a sudden there was just an uprising. Because I think they come from under the ground, don't they? Or didn't they come from lightning shards or something like that, and they came into the ground years ago? But anyway, I do like the idea that they're
talking of War of the Worlds. What a great musical! The War of the Worlds musical.
Oh, I've never seen that.
What? It's not like they do a live show where they like sing it, but it's like it was a musical album written in the 70s, and it is incredible.
Is it like an audio thing where you listen?
So Jeff Wayne, basically,
it's like a story.
And so there's a story, but the songs within the story, and oh mate, it's amazing. It's so good. But now they do a stage show of it and everything. But the original from the 70s, it's one of my favorite albums I've got on vinyl. I remember listening to it when I was a kid, and then had to get a copy myself.
Ah, interesting. No, that does ring a bell, because I think my sister's actually maybe at school or something. I think I've got a memory of putting it on and I had to turn it off because I think I was scared. I think it is a little bit.
Did you know? Do you know when H.G. Wells wrote War of the Worlds? Did you know how crazy it was when he released it? I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it might have even been like the 50s or something like that. But obviously, he wrote it as a radio show.
Right.
And when they first put it out, before it started, there was a public not warning, but a public information thing at the start saying this next show is a work of fiction and it's just a story. But the actual radio show of War of the Worlds was done as if it was breaking news happening during the radio.
That's not fair. Back in the 1950s.
So they kept on interrupting what was happening on the radio to say some strange thing has crashed into the land and all this stuff and everything. And it caused such uproar. People committed because they thought aliens were invading the world. And people believed it was real because they didn't hear that warning at the start.
I mean, that's a bit of a intense prank. back in the day.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a prank, but
No,
that
it
was
was a bit of
that was the premise of the production. It was breaking news. This is what's happening, but people believed it was actually happening, and aliens were invading. And
wow. Yeah, because it is quite not realistic, but it's almost quite believable. And if I remember, the guy that narrates it has got this really almost quite sinister kind of tone, hasn't he? Quite the voice that he has is really quite scary. No wonder I turned it off.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
musical Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds is so good, so good.
Do you like Wall-E? That's
as in the Disney Pixar film.
Yeah.
Wall-E. Yeah, it's
that's
amazing.
Absolute brilliant film. I mean, I don't know if he qualifies as an alien, but that's a good.
He's not an alien. He's a robot. Come on.
Well, he's a robot, isn't he? But I mean, surely there is no better alien film than Gail Platt in a basket. On a basket, on a bike. Surely there's nothing better than E.T.
I knew exactly what you were talking about as soon as you said that. It's amazing.
That meme. Oh, it's just so good. Gail. Oh.
Yeah. E.T. is incredible. What a great film.
Do you like Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Who's in that?
Yeah. I saw it long time ago, but that's a good film as well. And
where they communicate through musical notes and things like that.
Yeah, classic soundtrack.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Boo, 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 boo.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But E.T. Drew Barrymore as a kid was in that, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Because she has to properly cry, doesn't she? And she really did.
Yes.
I think in the film.
Yeah. And Elliot.
Yes.
So the lad who played Elliot. Have you ever seen the film? Oh, what's it called with Leonardo DiCaprio and is it Gangs of New York with
yes,
what's his name? And
Daniel Day-Lewis.
And Daniel Day-Lewis. Elliot is the other main character in it.
Is Leonardo's best friend. Yeah. But what a film. E.T. Just an absolute brilliant. Have you been on that? Is that ride still at Disneyland Disney World, by the way?
It's not at Disney World, it's at Universal, but yes, we went on it.
Oh, is it Universal? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Because my only knowledge of America really is when I was a kid and we went there and we went on the Jaws ride, which I think was just opened. I must have gone in 1993. And I went there when there was a ride called Earthquake and there was King Kong. I don't know if any of these rides are still there.
No.
And there was
the E.T. one is. I'm not
sure. Cool.
I'm not sure how long it will still be there, but you get on the. I'm pretty sure it's a Kuwahara 80s BMX, and go around seeing E.T. and all of his family.
That's it. And at the end, you cycle over the moon or something, and I remember just being like, oh, E.T. knows my name. What?
Yes, because at the start you have to give your name and they type it into the computer, don't they?
I didn't know my mum and dad have said, he's called Andrew. That will keep him quiet. Just make E.T. say his name. And gave him his sister's name. We were like, Cheryl, Louise, Andrew, phone home, or something like that. I was like, oh my God, E.T.'s just said my name. Oh my God, guys. I was 7.
As you went past E.T. went, it's on Andrew.
Oh, like, shush, Gail. Shut your trap. On your bike, Gail. So, good stuff.
Amazing. Right, shall we get on to a bit of running? Seeing as we're 23 minutes in and we haven't spoken any running yet.
Yeah, we probably should. Do you believe in aliens? Let us know. Send us an email. Run the right line at gmail.com. Let's talk about some running, shall we?
Yes. So, have you started your training now for Leeds?
Yes, I have. I'm in week 2, but I'm not making a big song and dance about it. I'm just sort of like I haven't even started making my videos or anything. I'm filming them, but I haven't edited anything together. On Strava, I'm just listing them as separate runs.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sort of keeping it just nice and mellow and not putting too much pressure on it, because the way I'm looking at Leeds is it's just another Sunday long run. And obviously I want to do well while I'm there, but Valencia is the A goal for me because I know how difficult Leeds is going to be. So I'm not I am obviously training for it, and I'm giving it the respect that it deserves, because I don't want to go there undertrained or overconfident. But yeah, I'm just trying to take as much pressure off myself as I can. So I'm just trying to, not really show off.
Yeah,
that I'm doing this training sort of thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just don't. Not the way I'm approaching it this year.
Yeah. So week 2 of how many weeks? What size
16.
block are you doing? 16.
Yeah. So I'm at pretty much the end of week 2. So decided to do a 16-week block with two deloads.
So is Leeds only 2 weeks after London?
Yeah, the 11th of May.
So are you still doing Birmingham half as a
this is the thing, because I can't really do a hard half marathon 7 days before the hardest race in the UK. That's a marathon hardest road marathon. So that doesn't make much sense. But yeah, go on, why not? And then I was thinking, well, should I just do the 10K? But then I know what would happen. I'd run even faster trying to get a 10K PB doing that. So I don't know if it's the lesser of two evils to just do the half marathon. I mean, I could, of course, just do them both easy, but I just really like that race and I don't really want to miss it. But also, stupidly, I don't really want to, just jog around, if you know what I mean. I want to, I paid me money, so I want to do reasonably well. So yeah, I've got to have a good think about that, what to do. Because yeah, you're right. Birmingham is the week before Leeds, and it is a damn good race, Birmingham. So yeah, I don't know what the hell to do. But Birmingham's the week after London, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I haven't decided yet. I haven't entered yet. I'll decide closer to the time. If I do it, it will just be a nice, easy run round. I won't be going for it at the half.
We're both saying that. We're both saying that now. 12 miles in, we'll be like, right, I'm on for the PB. Come on.
Isn't that what you did last year, though? Wasn't Birmingham the week after Newport anyway?
Yeah, and I actually did. I wouldn't say I struggled. Well, I did struggle. I did 142 in the end, or 140. Yeah, I think I did 143 or 142. And that was, I couldn't have done anything else. I remember I remember feeling okay until about 5 miles. And then I thought, not even halfway in. And I'm struggling a bit. Because I was going after the 145 pace. And I remember I did sail past him at 10 miles. But I did not find that race easy. Because when you've got a marathon in your legs from 7 days before a hard race, it's not a pleasant feeling, is it? Especially when you've still got like halfway to go. You're only halfway and you've still got the same amount to go. So yeah, I did do that. But that's what we do, isn't it? We just got to enter all these races. Exactly. Rather embarrassingly, I got called a prolific road racer on Tim Gross's video when he introduced me doing Valencia, and I thought, oh God, that's embarrassing, but also probably true. I wish I should have added all my races up that I did last year. I don't think I had a free weekend, to be honest.
No, pretty much.
I felt like I did quite a fair few.
Yeah, but when you were racing, you were doing silly ultras around the place.
Yeah. I just really like a race. I genuinely love a race. I really genuinely do. And if that's what I am, then I'm a prolific road racer. I will carry that to the grave. That's not the worst thing in the world to be. I just enjoy fun.
Yeah.
So organized fun. So but we'll see. I don't know what I'll do about Birmingham, but that will fall in week 15. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's training gone this week then for week 2?
Yeah, good. Not too bad. I've been concentrating on two things, volume and hills. The rest of it, I think hopefully will take care of itself. Like the speedy stuff, the track stuff, the marathon pace, all that stuff. Yes, it's important, but the two main things that I don't want to lose sight of are elevation and volume, because I believe, I mean, what do I know really? But for my progress, they're the two things that have really, really helped me improve. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully get to Leeds having done the biggest peak weeks ever. So I'm going to try and peak more running than I did in Valencia, the Valencia build. So that's one thing I'm trying to do. But yeah, this week I did, or I'm on route. I did 75k last week, so I'm en route to doing 80k this week. And started off just quickly giving you a quick rundown of this week with after my Sunday long run, which was excuse me, a hilly half marathon last Sunday. I did a easy 13k, nice and easy, and you'll be pleased to know that my easy pace is a bit quicker these days.
Nice.
I am naturally finding myself running a bit faster when I'm running easy, so I'm just going with it. And I'm not in new shoes either. I haven't bought a new pair of shoes for a while, so I know it can't be the new shoes. So I just feel like slightly lighter on my feet than I was last training block. So that's an interesting observation. So I'm putting my easy pace at about 5:30, 5:25 now, where last training block it was about 5:40, 5:45. And then Tuesday I had Monday off. Tuesday I did that easy run. Wednesday I did a double day. I went up the hills for one of my favorite loops. I did a 6k loop up the Malverns, sort of sunrise, which is quite pleasant, quite nice. Me and Daisy did basically the loop that I do around Malvern is hills on the way out, and then you drop down onto a path that runs parallel with the road through the woodland, and that's dead flat. So you get the best out of both worlds, really. You get the hills on the first half, and on the way back to the car, you can put a bit of steady and marathon pace in if you want to, or even quicker if you want to. But I'm always in my trail shoes, so I'm always mindful that, it's a little bit harder because I'm not in my alphas, basically. So that's probably why. But yeah, that was a good run. I did enjoy that. That was my first hill run of the block, I think, unless I did one last week. I can't quite remember. But then I did 11k on the track on Wednesday night. So I went down to track and I did a fairly sizable warm up to get to track. So I did before the session started, I did about 3k before the session started. And then the session I did was a kilometer at a half marathon pace, 800 meters straight into 800 meters at 10k pace. Then with a 200 meter recovery, which was like a 90-second. Once you're at the 200 mark and you've got to get back to the start line, I just literally, I sort of, for the first set, I think I jogged recovered. In the second and the third set, I put a little walk in after the rep had finished. But I was doing it's taking me around about 90 seconds to get from the 200 to the start. And then I went straight back into those reps, which were fairly consistent. Nice. You can see my blocks there of the two. So the first one, the first one I did, the first kilometer was 4:24.
Cool. So what sort of pace is that? What would you be racing?
That's half marathon. That's half marathon pace. My half marathon pace is 4:23 PB pace. So that's what I'm going to be going out on Sunday, because I am going to try and go for a PB Sunday, which is
even on the hills.
Even on the hills, yeah, because what goes up must come down. So, and I'm just going to be blissfully ignorant of the hills. Yeah. And if I crash and burn, that's what usually happens at Warwick, so it's fine. The second rep was 3:21 for the 800, so slightly quicker. Then the cool down, and the next kilometer rep was 4:20, so slightly quicker rep, and then the 3:28 for the 800 after that. Then my last set was 4:20, so fairly consistent for the kilometer reps, and then a 3:30 for the 800. So yeah, that was my track session done, which I did quite enjoy. I wore what did I wear? I think I wore my Vaporflies, my Vaporfly Next Percent 2s for that one. And Thursday I did an easy run because I've got to the point now where I know, because I'm putting so much volume in, even in this early stage, I need to get the runs in. And we've had this conversation week in, week out. I prefer frequency over, bigger runs over a shorter amount of days. So I did. I decided to run the day after track, which is Thursday, yesterday, and I did 11.75k, and that was nice and easy. That was 5:45k average, and of course got my hills. I'm trying to get the hills in every single session that I did, obviously apart from track, and that seemed to go well as well. Quite enjoyed that one, even as a recovery. And then today I did a hill rep session because I'm trying to think, what will I thank myself for? Because I've been thinking lately, because I'm in a bit of a rut with my YouTube. I haven't put any videos out. I've been feeling a bit sorry for myself. And I came to the realization that I think I need to be a bit kinder to myself and a bit more easy on myself and a bit more relaxed. And then I thought, no, that's not what you need. What you need is to work harder. Earn any time off you've got, because if you keep going, oh yeah, I just want to be nice and chilled and do everything nice and easy, I'm just going to just wimp out of things and just say no to things more often. So I just thought, no, I'm going to try and put at least 2 sessions a week in. And that's why today I did some hill reps. Now, it wasn't the hardest session, admittedly, because I've got one eye on Sunday. So I didn't want to trash my legs completely for Sunday. So I decided to do 2 pyramids of a local hill that I know, which I've never done before. I didn't know how long it was. I guessed it was 100 meters. Turns out it was 170 meters.
Okay. Yeah.
And I did like a pyramid kind of workout. So from the bottom to the top every time, but from the bottom, and everything's completely on feel. So the first rep was, 5 out of 10 effort, nice and easy. The second rep was like a tempo effort. So about a marathon pace, tempo effort, to 10K maybe. And then the last rep, the middle of the pyramid, was hard, as hard as I physically could. And managed to do it on feel, which I was really pleased with. So I was manually lapping at the top, immediately turning around, jogging down the hill. Then I'll have a minute static recovery before going again. Yeah. And on my easy ones, I did 65 seconds. And then on the tempo one, I was doing 55. And on the hard one, I was doing 40 seconds. And I was really pleased with that. So I did 2 sets of that and then an easy jog home. And then that's me for the week.
Excellent.
So far. So yeah, excellent. I don't often do hill reps, so I was quite pleased with that.
Are you on target to hit mileage for the week?
Yeah, so I'm going to drive to Parkrun tomorrow, just take it nice and easy. Still haven't decided which one I'm going to do, by the way. And then I'll probably take Daisy, so do that fairly easy. And then Sunday, between a warm down and a warm up, which hopefully will take me with the 21K, with the 13 miles. Yeah, that should take me to 80K, which would be about 50 mile.
Nice. Excellent.
So yeah. Excellent. So it's been good so far, and I am quite enjoying the idea of getting more volume in as the weeks progress. I mean, I'm week 2 already, and I'm on 50 miles, so it's quite a lot for me.
Yeah.
So I want to be peaking at about 130K. So that's going to be about 80 mile, isn't it? 75, about 80 miles, I think. So
nice.
So yeah, so lots of double days ahead, lots of running every day during the peak, I think, with at least a week or 2 of that. And yeah, just really looking forward to Leeds now, because Leeds apparently has got 500 meters of elevation, or maybe 450. So it will be a really tough day at the office.
So what's that in foot? About 1,500.
Yeah, a bit, probably. Yeah. So it's going to be a hell of a marathon, but yeah, just really excited for it. It's going to be it's just going to be a different approach, I think, because I'm probably going to have to, rather than being gung ho and just thinking, right, I can hold this pace throughout the whole thing, I'm probably going to have to think slightly tactically about what's coming, do a bit of research on the route. Know that, because I know, for example, there is a really nasty hill at, I think it's 17, and it lasts for about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and it's steadily uphill for a while. And then I don't know if this is, well, of course it's good news, but it's not all good news. The end of the race is net downhill, like 6 miles down that hill. Obviously, there's a couple of ups, but the quads are going to be decimated, aren't they? The week after that, the day after that. So, but yeah, I'm excited to get Leeds done, and it looks like it's going to be a really good race. So 100 days. We got an email today. 100 days exactly to go. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So feeling really good about it.
Good.
So what about you? How's your week 3, maybe?
Yeah, so I'm in week 3 right now. Yes. Saturday we last week, so day after we recorded last week, me, you, and Rich all went over to Babs Mill, didn't we?
I forgot our training weeks start on Saturdays. Yeah.
So Sarah was run director
Legend.
for Babs Mill, and then we saw David as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we chatted to a couple of people. A lad called Ben came up and said hello at the end, which was cool. But yeah, when I did Babs Mill Parkrun, loads of people that were there for the running show. So lots of people up at the front going for it. But yeah, I had a pretty decent run there, actually. Not bad at all. I did get the first mile into it though, and just go, can I even be bothered to be running this speed at this time in the morning? I was knackered. I'd had a couple of hours of sleep because of like getting stuff sorted and things. So yeah, I got a mile in, but I ended up running quite an even pace, so that was decent. I think go on.
The course is. Is good, isn't it? The course is quite tricky.
It is. Yeah, it's not an easy one to do, is it? Yeah, because I'd say half of it is tarmac paths, and then 2/3 of the other half. So what's that? 'That would be 2/6 of the whole course.
Yeah,
because we know what you're like with maths. But anyway, so
maths.
Yeah,
Maths Australia.
Math. Yeah. You're amazing at that, but proper maths. So 2/3 of the other half is like a gravelly sort of trail sort of ground, isn't it? And then the other third's on grass, which was interesting in super shoes on Saturday, because we both wore our Pro 3s, didn't we? And it was a bit slippy slidey across that grass bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, especially second time round after 1,000 people had trodden across that mud.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went out to try and do a 20-minute, because I still haven't done a 20-minute since we did a sub 20 minutes, and I thought that would be the one, and I ended up doing 20:33, I think. So didn't quite do it, but
but no, it wasn't the easiest of courses, so I can understand why. You didn't. I ended up coming 5th, which was cool. What did I run? 18:15. So yeah, pretty pleased with that.
Cool.
Nice consistent effort throughout. Then we made our way to the running show, but we'll go through that in a bit. And then on Sunday, when I got home on the Saturday from the running show, I had a look on Instagram and went, I didn't see that. And then we chatted and we missed loads of stuff. So I thought I might go again on Saturday afternoon, just go and see the bits that I didn't see. So Sunday, I got up a bit late because I was knackered. and thought I'll get out and do my run before I go over, because I did contemplate going to the running show and then doing my run in the evening. And I was like, I don't want to run 15 mile in the dark. I'll go out and do the routes through the countryside where it's actually nice to look at rather than street lit roads in the night. So went out and did 15 mile, and because the weather was so horrible, halfway through I just got battered with wind and rain pelting my face, and I was just like, this is horrible. So because I wanted to get home out of the wind and rain, I ended up running way faster than I should have. So I did 15 mile, but averaged 6:51 a mile, which when I set off, I said to myself, just run it nice and steady. So anywhere between 7:15 and 7:30 a mile. And I ended up running, average of 6:51.
That's sub 3 pace, isn't it?
6:51 is 3-hour marathon pace, yeah. So, and there was 1,089 foot of elevation in that run.
Nice.
Over the 15 miles. So my grade adjusted pace, where is it? The average grade adjusted pace was 6:34 a mile.
Nice.
So that's pretty much where I want it to be for marathon pace as well. So it's it was a lot faster than I should have run, but we got that done, and then I went over to the running show again. Then Monday was just nice and easy, up to the shop and back. I did end up running a little bit faster than I should have, but bit of a naff day. But so I basically took my frustrations with the world out on my legs during my run and ran faster than I should have. But that was all good. And then Tuesday's session was down at Arthur Street. So I mentioned this last week that we were at Arthur Street. And Arthur Street is on a factory estate, and it's a nice loop that you can go around, and the loop is 800 meters. So Andy, our coach, said anyone training for a marathon or a half do double loops, and everyone else was doing single loop efforts. So basically it was 1,600 meters, which is basically a mile. It's 9 meters off a mile for the double loops. So it was 5 lots of the double loops, so 5 times a mile off a recovery where we turned round, ran one of the straight roads, and then started the effort the opposite direction from the end. So each time the recovery was back or up that road. So
what's the slope like on that loop?
It's pretty flat. It's not mega flat. It's not completely flat. So when you set off, you go uphill, and about halfway through the loop, it then starts going back downhill. But it's not a huge hill, but you can tell it's got a bit of a slope. But because you then go down for the second half, it pretty much evens itself out. But I wanted to hit like 10k pace, and I managed to more or less do that for the reps. So for the 1600s, I did 5:36, a 5:50, a 5:39, a 5:43, and then a 5:39.
Is that for a mile?
Yeah. Wow, 1,600. So 9 meters off a mile. So more or less a mile. But so I was pretty pleased with that. And then the recoveries were around 110 to 120. So it was so more or less off 70, 80 seconds recovery in between each mile.
So just for scale and just for reference, what are those numbers again? 5:30,
5:36, 5:50, 5:39, 5:43, 5:39.
And what's a 250 marathon pace?
250 marathon pace is 6:29.
Okay, right. So you got 45, 40 seconds on some of those reps. Yeah.
So that was basically 10k pace for my 10k PB. But quite pleased with that. So that was a good day, and I ended up running about 15 mile that day. So it was a big evening. of running. And then last night we did a road session on the bus route, where we did short bridge to bridge. So there's like bridges that go. The bus route goes over other roads. So where the bridges are, we use a lot of the bridges or the lampposts as starts and finishes of reps and stuff. So this one was called short bridge to bridge, and it was supposed to be about 600 meters, but from my reps and a guy called Matt commented on my Strava because he said very accurate with the measurements, because I basically took what the rep was and put it into a converter to work out how many meters each rep was. So they were supposed to be 600 meters, but they ended up being 692 meters. I could have just put 690, but I was like, no, I'm having the extra 2. So it was 692 meters, and it was basically an effort there, and then 60 seconds off, an effort back, and it was 8 efforts in total. And because of Sunday, I decided to take it a little bit easier. So other people were doing like 5K pace effort, but I went for half marathon pace effort, and pretty pleased with that as well. Managed to get the legs moving, and it was quite good.
And then Friday day off,
and then today is day off. So yeah.
So have we talked much about what your target is? I can't remember if we talked about your actual time target for London. Did we? Did we go over that?
I don't know.
No.
I can't remember.
Let's just go through that then.
Yeah. So I am aiming at London for as close to 250 as I can. So yeah, I'll if I break 250, I would be absolutely delighted, but as close to 250 as I can. So my target pace, I've worked out 6:29 a mile is 2:49.59. So 1 second under 250. Yeah. So to allow for GPS drift and everything, I'm aiming my marathon pace as 6:27 a mile, which is 4 minutes a K exactly.
Okay.
So it's 20-minute 5K pace basically.
So that's what you'll be looking at, 20-minute 5K splits.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm aiming for. So we shall see.
So what does that give you a half split in then? 250, that's 120.
125.
Yeah, 125. So you're at a 118 half PB, aren't you?
Yeah.
So on paper, it sounds easy, doesn't it? On paper.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was looking out on my Coros app, and it's recalculated my my possible times for all the race distances again. Because obviously, depending on your fitness and how much training you're doing and everything, it changes what your race predictor times are.
Yeah.
And my race predictor times now are for 5K. It says I should be able to do 17:02.
Yeah.
So I've done a 17:15. So close.
Yeah.
10K. It says I should do a 35:04, and I've done a 35:40. So again, close. Half marathon says I should do a 1:16:55, so basically 1:17, so close-ish. But it's now saying that for the marathon I should be able to run a 2:41:20.
Wow,
2:41. So no, thank you. I'm gonna go for 2:50. Yeah. But basically, apparently, according to my other race times, it should be quicker than 2:50. But there is a big difference between a marathon and a half marathon and the other race distances. Like a half, you don't have to pace yourself as much as you do in a marathon. You can go all out and sort of hang on till the end. Yeah. Even if you do blow up a bit, you can still pull it out the bag and hang on. Whereas a marathon, if you go out too quick and don't pace yourself, that's it. It's done. It's over.
you can kind of wing a half marathon,
Yeah,
and a
you
5K
can.
and a 10K, can't you? Yeah. But a marathon, you just get found out, don't you? If you
Exactly.
either haven't fueled correctly or done the training.
Yeah, it's a different beast. So
Or
yeah,
both.
I'm going for 250, which will be a massive PB anyway. It'll be a 5-minute PB. So yeah, that's where my target is firmly set. And then we'll see where we are after London for what we aim for in Valencia. But 250 is the target, so we shall see how the training goes.
Yeah, awesome. My Garmin is telling me some quite optimistic times right now as well. It's saying 1917 for the 5K, half is 130. Sorry, I've done it in the wrong order. 10K is 40:39, which is only 10 seconds faster than what I have run. And marathon is or 15. Marathon is saying 3:19:38, and as if I was going to run a marathon tomorrow. But these things are quite wildly, robotic, aren't they? They base off your top end stuff, I think.
Exactly.
And we should probably mention as well about the Garmin shenanigans that went on this week.
Yeah.
So for a big portion of probably you guys listening, I mean, Garmin probably. I don't know if they're market leaders anymore. I'd probably say they are for wrist-based.
I think they probably are. Yeah, Garmin.
But on certain models, especially the newer models, people were thinking it was like some sort of Black Mirror episode, because they'd go to start an activity and they just get this triangle, the triangle of doom. And I don't think you could reverse it. I don't think you could get off that screen.
No, and some people's Garmin Connect apps and watches were completely resetting and getting rid of loads of stuff.
So that is a massive pain in the backside if you're a marathon training, because looking at my model here, I've got the Forerunner 945, which is probably in the grand scheme of things quite old now. It's probably 2 or 3 years old. But I think the ones affected were the 935s, the 245s, the 235s. And some, I don't know if the Phoenixes in that range were as well. But fortunately, I was okay. And everyone was talking, like Mac, for example, friend of the podcast, Mac, was talking about, well, he told me at track, because it happened on Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday. And he had to do a full, he had to do a full factory reset of his watch to try and, just to start from scratch. So all those little things that you've got, I don't know about you, but I've got custom things set up for my training and race days, how I like them, how I like my faces to look. And you've got to do all that again. So what a pain in the arse that is.
Yeah.
So Garmin, I don't know if they're going into business with Coros or they've just bought them out or something, but they're pushing people to try and buy one. I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Because imagine that, like the start of a race. Imagine if that was on a Sunday morning.
I know, that would be bad, wouldn't it?
That would be horrendous if that was just before, something that you really needed your watch for. So, that would have been.
Imagine if you were starting an ultra and you had your navigation on your watch, and then all of a sudden you just get a triangle.
Hardest geezer in the middle of Sahara Desert. Just goes the wrong way. Yeah. He's going backwards. Oh God, that was. That's very annoying. But we should probably talk a bit about the running show itself, because we both went down.
Yes.
After Parkrun on Saturday, and we saw a lot of smiley faces who said they listened to the podcast and stuff. So massive thank you to you guys that came and said hi. And we got there because we obviously did Parkrun, and then by the time we'd thawed out, because it was quite chilly, wasn't it, in Parkrun?
Yes.
By the time we got to Parkrun, to the running show, it's probably about, do you reckon it's about 10:30, 11?
Yeah,
probably more like 11,
that,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was no queue. I expected there to be a bit more of a queue, but maybe there was right at the very, very, very start. Maybe at 9 o'clock when it opened, there was a bit of a queue. But we just walked straight in. I zap your QR code, and then straight away we saw the big brands staring us in the face. So where did we go first? There was only one place for us, wasn't there?
Of course, we walked straight to the Three Stripes.
And that was a little bit based on last year, because last year was my first running show. I don't know if you'd been to one before, but the Adidas stall seemed to be very different to the rest of them. Adidas have at the front of their stand, some of the big ticket items like the new shoes, the Pro 4s, and their new race day kit, where the singlets are 90 quid and the shorts are 80 quid, those kind of things. But then on the back of the stand, it's almost like a jumble sale of brand new Adidas pieces.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff, and it was all 50% marked off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Off the price. And then once we bought a few things, we got to the till and the guy said, let's see what discounts we can do you. I was like, all right then. So this happened to both of us, didn't it? We had a handful of stuff and we thought we were going to pay, I don't know, 50, 60, maybe even 70 quid. Well, one of the things I had was a jacket that was 35 quid and he put through all my items and I think he's 39 quid. And I had a hat, a singlet, a few things. And I was like, wow. So got some amazing bargains. What did you pick up from Adidas?
So on the Saturday, I picked up a singlet, which was marked as 55 quid.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was all 50% off, so 55 quid. I picked up a pair of shorts, which were 50, and a pair of socks that were 15. So what's that? 120 quid. So it should have been 60 quid, and I think I paid less than 40 quid.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought, because that's happened to me before. Something's been really good, so I've just said, I just don't talk now. Because knowing me, I could have talked myself out of a deal. So are you sure that's the right price? But I got a singlet, which is similar to your race day one. I got one that's like it's not leopard print. Mine's more like a black and charcoal grey. Yeah, like almost like a
sort of
yeah, and it looks quite cool. I'll be donning that on Sunday. I'll be wearing that for the for Warwick, and I got a white hat, which is more, instead of like the Varga, flip peak, it's more like a baseball cap shape. That's what I got.
It's more like a technical cap, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I've got another one in a different color, and I really like it. I've got a purple one, and I bought a bright white one, so I looked like I was on centre court, because the day after I went for a run. And I was in white shorts, a white top, and my white hat. I looked like blooming Tim Enman. And I think, was that all I got from? I got one. Oh yeah, I got this jacket. So I got a black jacket, which is really quite cool, because as soon as you lift up the arm, under the arm is like this like multicolored. You feel like a peacock or something. It's like I've got all these bright colours underneath your arm. So I've been running around like that. I've just been running around like I'm dancing.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with my little purchases.
If you're donning your new singlet on Sunday, I might don my new one, but not the one I bought on Saturday. So when I went on Sunday, some of the singlets that were on the other side of the stand that were full price, they'd put round to the half price one.
No.
Yes. So I ended up buying a singlet, and on Sunday, I'm going to pretend that I am Kenenisa Brett Ailey. Because I bought an Ethiopian Adidas singlet. So
Oh mate, is that what you're wearing? Are you going to wear that?
I'm going to wear that Sunday. Yeah.
So that one that we saw on the front, they put round the side.
They
it was put round on the rails.
50% off side.
So if you'd have bought that on Saturday, that would have been full price, like 70 quid, 60 quid.
I think it was 55 quid full price.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. I really like the colorway that there must be this season's color. That they've got like
the red.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not quite red. It's not quite scarlet, is it? But it's got like a bit of a coral kind of.
Yeah, it's got a slight coral look to it. It's like, it's not pillar box bright red. It's got a slight corally sort of tint to it. But mate,
that looked tidy.
So nice.
That looked really nice.
Yeah,
so I imagine some of the pro athletes might wear that.
Yeah, because it is. I think that's the spring summer 25 stuff, whereas the cobalt blue which was like, it looked purple, but it was semi-cobalt blue, they called it the colour. That was the winter 24 stuff.
Yeah. But I really like the Adidas stand for that, because I don't know what a lot of this gear is and why you don't normally see it on the website, because some of it you just don't see. Like, for example, that did I send you a screenshot of the exact t-shirt that I bought? I looked at it. It came up as funny enough. It came up on a sponsored ad saying, "Hey, Andy, we think you'd really like this." And it was this. It was the same. It was the same thing that I bought, but it was 35 quid. That's what I bought.
Yeah.
And I reckon I've got that for about 16 quid or something, because of the discount the guy gave us. Yeah. So I was because I would have been happy to pay that price, because I think that's probably worth 30 quid or 35 quid or whatever it was. But yeah, so we got some serious discounts. Did you try any shoes on the day after? Did you try the Pro 4s on?
No, I didn't. No. I'm still saving myself for when I actually buy a pair, which hopefully will be tomorrow morning.
Cool.
The 1st of February, they are releasing all the new colorways. Well, not all of the new colorways, but some of the new colorways.
I tell you which ones I like, and I can't think of any other way to describe them but this: the IKEA colorway.
Yeah, the yellow, blue, and red.
Yeah, they look like Swedish. Like,
those
they look really nice.
Those are the ones I am looking to buy tomorrow.
Really?
Yes.
They look really, really nice.
They are. Really cool. They are the Tokyo Marathon colorway.
Yeah, it says T3 on the back or something, doesn't it? Or doesn't it say T? I'm sure there's something written on the heel.
It's got a number 7 on the left shoe and a number 23 on the right shoe.
That's it. Yeah. That's what I've seen. Yeah, but they look really, really nice. So yeah, fingers crossed you'll have them. Yeah, you'll have them next week.
Hopefully,
if the right colours drop. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll see. But as well, at the running show, we went and saw Voom and picked up. You bought 2 boxes full.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd better stock up, because I got through a fair few Vooms, because for Newport last year, I wasn't really fueling on my long runs. And then that's one of the big differences I made for Valencia. I think I got my body ready for the marathon by training. Yeah. So I was basically doing 25K or 20K or 30K runs with a bit of water. I wasn't actually fueling, or I was running easy and steady. So I wasn't needing to take the fuel on. And so that's one of the big changes I made. So yeah, I made sure I got the new one. It's not new. I got a new flavor for me, because I've only ever eaten the lemon and lime ones, or lime, I think they are.
Yeah, lemon and lime. They are. Yeah,
they are lemon and lime, which are green. And you said you really enjoyed the raspberry. Is it strawberry or raspberry? It's raspberry, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when I have a Voom now, a lemon and lime, isn't it funny how you can hear a song and it transports you to a place in time?
Yeah.
Lemon and lime Voom bars take me exactly to 20 miles into the Newport Marathon, the day I almost died by choking on a Voom. Because by 20 miles in, we'd nearly finished that second loop of Newport. And I think I did have another Voom at 23 miles, and that wasn't so bad. But I did have one without water, and I definitely nearly choked on that. And it's so funny, so funny. Every time I taste the Voom, it takes me to that moment in time, and it's so funny. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying these new raspberries. I've already taken them on a run. They do taste fresh. So
good.
And
on the Sunday, I went and bought a box, but I bought a mixed box. So I had some of the lemon and lime and raspberry, which are the electrolyte ones. And then I bought some of the caffeine ones. So I bought half the pink grapefruit and half the berry. and then I bought a couple of the beta alanine orange ones as well.
See, them two, I can't get on with those two. The pink grapefruit, I find a little bit, just a bit sharp. Has that got caffeine in it? That one?
Yeah.
Maybe that's
both
why.
the berry and the pink grapefruit have got caffeine.
Yeah, and the beta alanine one.
Yeah, that's got caffeine and beta alanine.
Yeah, that's not the best, is it? I don't think that's not. I don't think it's very enjoyable. It's more like I'm eating this because I want a PB, and that's why I'm doing it.
I use them for the shorter races, so 5 and 10. Well, 5 and 3K. I tend to use the beta alanine ones.
Right, yeah. So you just have one 20 minutes or 10 minutes before a race.
Yeah.
But it was good to see the Voom guys, and I did bottle.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and chat them up, but then I'd stop myself because I thought, no, I'm not. I just hate that whole. Give us some free stuff because we're influencers. We're so cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll note that. Hopefully that. Well, they're probably never. We're talking about aliens more than blooming running. So maybe. But if anyone knows anybody at Voom, please tell them that we only use their stuff.
Yeah, give us a good word to the guys at Voom.
But I personally recommend their stuff. I think it's good, and I do quite like it. But we tried a couple of other things, didn't we?
We did.
Nutrition-wise, which had mixed results. So the one thing that I remember tasting, which I didn't like, was Velo Forte. Now, the flavour, this is specific to what you would take with you on a long run or a marathon or an ultra or whatever, was their version of a chew. And it, like you said, it was like Turkish delight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was walking around the running show and I couldn't get it down. So let alone 23 miles into a marathon, it just would have come straight back up, I think. I didn't like the texture of it. The taste of it was banging, but the texture, I just couldn't get past the texture.
Well, you could tell how sticky it was because it was covered in powder, icing sugar, weren't it? Yeah. So if it's got to be covered in icing sugar, you know how sticky it is.
It tasted a bit like, imagine trying to eat, like a washing machine tablet, that comes in like a little plasticky, squishy thing, or like imagine putting one of them in your mouth. That's how it felt. And you've got to like crunch into it. And as soon as you do that, it feels quite slimy, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that Voom isn't. Voom is like a solid chew. And fair enough, it is a bit chalky, so it's not really watery. So that's where you will struggle. But that's one thing I moved away from gels, because I didn't really like the liquid, slippery, slimy side of gels.
Yeah.
But it's horses for courses, because so many people will swear by that and think that is the most direct way into your gut.
Yeah.
And that's why they have it. But it's just not everyone gets on with it. And I don't think I did.
I never got on with gels. They never sat well in my stomach. So I moved to like solid fuel. And I used to use the Power Bar shots, which were like Haribo sweets. But once I found Voom, I've stopped using those now. And the Voom bars are just what I use.
Have you phased them out now, the jellies, the Power? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So now it's just Voom stuff I use. Yeah. So when I went on the Sunday, I bought a box of Voom to top up. So I've now got enough for the whole London block and hopefully for London too. Yeah.
Well, I've got enough now until like London 2029. So I've got about 200 Vooms now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then who else did we go and see? We went and see when I saw the guys at Varga. Always nice to go and have a chat with those guys. Had a nice long chat, and it was really good. And we obviously came away with some stuff. You can't not go to the running show and not come away with something from Varga. They've always got new, really good stuff, haven't they? Yeah, they do. Well, the bright pink hat I bought the black version of that. Yeah. The cap, the new release cap, seemed to go down really well. Oh, the nightclub one with the reflective. Yeah, that seemed to go super well. Which is,
coming out at exactly the right time, because a lot of people are getting into their running this time of year, and they're training for things, and they're probably training in the dark, which is why they've been created. But in the daylight, they still look really stylish. So they're stylish, and they're really functional as well. Because is it the similar thing that they do at the Obi-Wan brand HQ? They've got like a stitching that lights up.
Yes, it's slightly different to the beanies that I've done. So the beanies have got a reflective thread that is then stitched through the weave of the fabric after the fabric's been made. But Varga have actually had the reflective thread woven into the fabric itself. So it's not an addition afterwards. It's part of the actual fabric being made, which is quite clever. It's really, really, really clever.
I think Varga are quite innovative, aren't they?
Yes.
They seem to be a step ahead of, the competition, really. Because there aren't, I wish I could remember the guy's name that we were talking to, but he was saying he was one of the owners, and he was saying that so many people focus, so many brands focus from the chin down.
Yes.
And what they do is go from the chin up. And that's where, so you'll never see, well, you're very rarely going to see a Varga hoodie or a Varga pair of split shorts, because that's not what they do. That's not where they concentrate on, is it? They're focus, all about
focus on the top, and keeping you warm on your head. But I was chatting to him again on Sunday, and I was basically saying it's because it's the details that they put into their stuff, because they make it from like the scratch. It's manufactured for them to their specifics, and it's the little details that they put into it that makes it so much different to the other products that are out there. Because there's lots of running caps that are out there, but they're all very similar. Whereas theirs, because they're making them from the ground up, they can put little details and things into there that are very different. And I was saying to them, it's like they sort of give the customer or the runner what they want without them knowing what they want. If you get what I mean. So they know what the customer wants before the customer knows they want it.
It's clever.
Which is really, really clever. So good stuff. Some very good stuff.
Yeah, I really like talking to those guys, because their stand looked cool as well, didn't it? Quite minimal, but
but growing every year as well.
Yeah. They're a good brand, and you see so many people on race day or training wearing their kit, and you can see why, because it stands the test of time. You can wash it 5,000 million times, and it still looks exactly the same as the day you bought it, and it's so lightweight. And I've worn their stuff from ultras to marathons to 5Ks to train. I probably wear Varga every other run, pretty much. So they're good stuff. They're good brands. Yeah, very good brand. So any other notable mentions? We sort of saw from afar Ben Parks, didn't we? He's taller in real life than I thought.
Yeah, I went and had a chat with him on the Sunday.
Nice.
Went and spoke to him. Yeah, real nice guy. So
yeah, he was there selling his kit, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Which he claims are the best running hats in the game. But I don't know if Varga would agree with that.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's more Ben Parks hats in circulation, though, because they are pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah.
And a lot of his kit is pretty cool. So, power to him. He's got some good kit, and he's got a good platform to sell it as well, because he's got a lot of subscribers. And but we didn't see any speakers, though. I don't know if you saw anybody.
I stopped and had a listen to Jasmine Paris talk for a couple of minutes, but I was still in the middle of going around everything, so didn't stay too long. But she said she doesn't do any road running at all.
What?
The only road running she does is to get to the hills and the woods and stuff, and then gets out onto the trails and onto the mountains.
Wow, fair play. So do you reckon she just literally doesn't really do any sessions? She just runs.
Probably,
she just literally goes up and down hills all day long.
Gets out there and goes off road.
It's kind of like I don't know, quite an old school medieval way to look at running, but maybe it's the best way. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah, the key to success.
She just keeps. It's obviously volume, isn't it? That's exactly Jasmine's ether. Me and Jasmine are very similar because what we prioritize is volume and hills. So that is, So maybe she's been listening to this podcast. Maybe she's been because that's very much what I do. Actually, thinking about it, I only run on trails and hills. So yeah. But she was at the show, wasn't she? And I know Mo Farah was there. I think.
Yeah, he was there on the Saturday, and on the Sunday, Ardis Geezer was there.
Oh yeah.
And then Ewan Thomas and Susie Chan were the presenters on the main stage.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few big names there.
Yeah. We saw the running channel. We didn't really have a chat with those guys because they were all busy. In fact, they were all on stage when we walked past their thing, but they had a big stand there. I can't really remember. What do you think of the show as a whole? Would you say it's a bit stressful, isn't it? It's a bit.
It is to try and do it quickly is a bit stressful. On the Sunday, I had a bit more time to just wander and just peruse things at a bit more leisurely pace, and it was a bit better because we weren't having to rush to try and see everything. I think you've got to have either a full day there to see everything, or you've got to prioritize things, and if you haven't seen things, not worry about it.
Yeah, because there are a lot of like streets and avenues that you don't realize. Oh, I haven't walked down that one, or I've walked down this one 3 times. Have I done that? That sort of thing. But I'll tell you what we did. You were interested in, and I can't believe this, the Mizuno.
Yeah,
Neo, is it?
I've heard some really good stuff. I'll never buy a pair because they're Mizuno and they're not Adidas. But the Mizuno Neo Vista, or no, the Neo Zen. So they released the Neo Vista, and then the Neo Zen was the shoe that they had as the mystery shoe that all the influencers were getting. And the mystery shoe ended up being the Neo Zen, and like just so many people have said how good of a shoe it is for going out and doing your long runs as a daily.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm in the market actually for a long run shoe because my Saucony Endorphin Speed 3s probably I should be putting them on the shelf because they've done 1,000k. Me Manova Blast have done 1,000. My Vaporfly 2s have done 1,000. Anything that I would do a long run in is coming towards the end of its life. So yeah, I am in the market for a new long run shoe.
That's the same with me as well, and I can't wait to get my hands on a pair of the Adidas Evo SL. There's been some great reviews of that, but some people I've heard talking about them recently. So, do you know the Inside Running podcast, the Australian guys? They do an episode every now and then called Shoe Geeks, and it's Moose from the Inside Running podcast, and a couple of other guys who are, I think one's a podiatrist. I think 2 of them might be a podiatrist actually, and then Moose, Julian Spence, I think his name is. He runs a running shoe company. So they just talk about shoes and what they've been running in and what's popular and all that sort of stuff. And the one guy was saying the Adidas Evo SL is Adidas's version or competitor to the Super Blast from Asics.
Right, okay.
And it feels very much the same.
Yeah, right, okay, that's interesting. It looks nice as well. And again, a lot of people that have put it on their feet and reviewed it have had good things to say about it. And it's not too expensive either, is it? It's about 120, 130? 130, isn't it?
Full price, yeah.
Yeah,
which is cheap really for a shoe that's getting that such good reviews.
You know, when you sent me that link,
yes,
of you said Start Fitness have got them in. From how much time it took me to procrastinate to think, yeah, go on, I'll be interested to see. Go on, yeah, I'll go get it. It had sold out of my size within a few hours. Went on it the day after, and now it's like you can either have it in size 5.5 or size 12.5. Like it's most of the popular sizes have already gone.
Yeah, as soon as they come in stock, they just seem to go straight away. Same as the Super Blast. So,
but like, I don't know if this is purely from a cosmetic standpoint, but I don't know if I want a white long run shoe in the winter because it's just going to look so grubby so quickly.
Well, Adidas are releasing different colorways tomorrow, again, 1st of February, and there's a black with white stripes or a black with red stripes, which looks very nice.
Are you in the ballot for any of them?
I haven't gone into the ballot yet, but I'm very tempted. You've got to get into the ballot for it before 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Why are they doing this?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I want to just go onto a website and buy a pair of the shoes. I don't want to go into a ballot to be able to buy shoes, but it's to keep interest and hype for them up, isn't it? But really, it's just annoying people because it's annoying me, and I'm definitely going to buy a pair. So
that's
someone
it,
who's
because
just thinking about it would get really annoyed by it.
Yeah, and they're like, right, it's either these or the Zoom Fly 6, or it's either these or the Mizuno Neo. I think, well, I can go and get them now, or I can go and get them now. Can I get the Adidas here? No, I've got to wait another month or two for them.
And you can't get the Super Blast because they're sold out everywhere and never in stock. So yeah, but look how good they look.
They do look tidy. Yeah, are they the ones with a something in the front of the shoe? They've got like a plate in the front.
No, they've got no plate at all. They've just got a tiny little shank in the middle of the foot. So there's no plate. It's just a big slab of Light Strike Pro, but it's the Light Strike Pro that's in the Pro 3, not the stuff that's in the Pro 4.
Right, okay. Interesting.
But because it's not got the rods, it feels softer.
Yeah. Interessante.
So there we go. Yeah.
So, any other notable mentions about the running show? I can't think we're all pretty much
not that I can think of. No. It was pretty good. It was a good show.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
We'll go next year, no doubt.
Yeah, of course we will. But what I was going to say is we probably need to. We were going to do this at the start of the episode, and then it went completely out the window because we started talking about aliens and
aliens. Gail Platt.
But episode 50, we put a story up on our Instagram asking people what their highlights or favourite moments of the pod over the last year have been. So I thought we'd just quickly go through those. So the first one is from someone called It's on Andy. I don't know if you know who that is. But it says, the Italian general responsible for the unification of the Kingdom of Italy, Gary Barlow.
Just as a life highlight. I just we need to bring back
Gary Barlow instead of Garibaldi was amazing.
Brilliant.
Amazing. But first proper ones from Runner Bean 15, and they say the end of the pod quiz. The quiz and crazy answers kept me company on many a car journey.
Oh, thanks. It's Haley, I think. Thanks very much for that. That's the first compliment I've ever got on the quiz, and maybe the only one I'll ever get. So thank you very much.
Yeah, so maybe we should bring that back, but I don't know. We'll see. Next one from Rich Woolley 27 says prawn crackers.
Prawn crackers? Wow, I totally forgot about eating prawn crackers live on the channel. Was that just as I'd finished Valencia and I just didn't give it?
Yeah,
I just didn't care about.
Was celebration prawn crackers, wasn't it?
Yeah, my Chinese. Yeah.
Brilliant. S Stodds 84 says the random shout Andy got at Newport. I think just randomly
that was from
someone out the bushes shouting "Mumbai, bye bye."
That was
That's one of
Stephen.
my
Yeah, that was
yeah,
another highlight of my life. That was brilliant.
yeah. The whole Mumbai bye bye thing is a highlight for me from the pod. Just everybody jumping on board. I've heard that at many a race, and I'm sure you've heard it even more.
We need to bring back the end of the podcast quiz because we're getting some great content out of it.
Yeah. Rob Scott 33 says Andy's tale of what he ate on the cruise ship, the sub-2 marathon of gluttony, heroic.
Oh yeah, thanks.
How many steaks did you have in one go?
I think 3. I think I did the steak hat trick. But that's what you've got to do. You've got to do it.
Very much so. Very much so.
Done.
Yeah. Will Fu says, and this was a highlight. This is brilliant. The Quiney brothers welcoming you on your own podcast. Burst out laughing on my long run.
Todd, welcome. Cheers. Thanks, Todd. That was great.
Brilliant.
What a moment.
With
his Python.
and his piano in the background.
Oh, that was so hilarious. Yeah.
What was I going to say? Marathon Man 26.2 says Andy's muddy adventure whilst trying to photograph.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. That was one of my worst professional moments. I wonder if that lawn has recovered yet. It probably still hasn't. It was bald. It was as bald as my head.
I wonder if they missed the wardrobe or whatever, chest of drawers or whatever it was.
Yeah, I had to dismantle a wardrobe. Oh God. That was a low point.
Brilliant.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And then last one was from Will Ford 165, and he says the training week recaps, general marathon and race chat, and my Valencia shout out. So yeah, amazing, Will. But yeah, just a few highlights. Have you got anything that comes to mind from the last 50 episodes? Which
there's been so much nonsense spoken, hasn't there?
Yeah,
I actually think I prefer the nonsense than the actual running content. Let me just have I quite liked I remember doing a Easter quiz on you. That was quite good.
Yes, yeah,
about
the
40 pieces of silver. That was good.
Yeah. The Henry VIII chat.
There was a Henry VIII one, wasn't there? Yeah. Or do you remember the quiz that the connection? There was only a few of these because I couldn't be bothered to think of any connections. But one of them was the connection was never going to give you up, never going to let you down. That was
rickrolled us
because that was your favourite song of all time. So I was quite pleased with that one.
It is the first album I ever bought, Rick Astley. Together Forever, I think the album was.
What about you then? Have you got any moments that could bring?
Do you know what? I find it really hard to remember things that we've done on this pod because we record and then the Friday evening I edit it, get it uploaded, and by the Saturday I've forgotten what I've said.
Yeah.
I could have said lots of incriminating stuff on this and I can't remember half of the things I've said.
I either forget about it or cringe about it.
Actually, a highlight of mine is you on the pod admitting to the fact that you sent back to Amazon sweaty elephant hat.
Got my $7.99 refund though. So that's the only thing. I'd love to know if that's been sold. Or, if that's been resold.
The poor child who has received that sweaty elephant hat.
I mean, let's be honest, it's a bit inappropriate anyway, because the trunk was rather phallic. But I'm not sorry. You've got to take back what's rightfully yours.
Yeah.
So I was recycling. That's what I was doing.
Exactly. Right. So next thing we should probably do, because we didn't do these last week, is go into the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
And catch up from like over a month of comments when we've been away. But the first one, I did mention this one to you at the start and said I wouldn't actually say it until we got on the pod because I wanted to see your actual reaction. And it's from Lee Chesterton. So thank you, Lee. And he says, so pleased for you, Andy. Knew you had it in you. And this is about your sub 20 5K at Ara Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Lee came and said hello afterwards, didn't he, to you? And said, well done. He said, I so had to be there. Great effort, although you were beaten by a runner dressed as a banana.
So true. I remember seeing that banana at the start and thinking, why you stood at the front? Come on, mate.
Yeah. That was
Scott, absolutely smashed me. Absolutely smashed me.
That was Scott. He runs for B&R.
Right. Why was he dressed as a banana?
Because he does it every Christmas, dressed as a banana. And he does it as fancy dress every Christmas. But as part of that run, B&R invited all of our club, like the group that we train with. We all said, we'll go down to Ara Valley Parkrun. And obviously I was pacing you, so I didn't take part in it. But Scott put on the B&R chat, anybody who beats the banana gets free donuts from Pete. So they all went for a bagel and donuts afterwards. And Pete had said, anyone that beats the banana gets a free donut. So people were trying to beat Scott in the banana costume.
Oh, he had me on toast. He had what was he? He must have been low 19s or 18s, maybe.
Yeah. He was somewhere around there. Yeah.
Fair play. That's because in fancy dress there's a fair bit of resistance because that banana was quite tall. So that would have been flapping around, and at 5K pace, that can't be easy.
Yeah.
So massive respect for anyone that runs in fancy dress because it just adds a layer of difficulty that you probably can never really explain. You know, a bit like my elephant head. Hitting me in the face, run around, hitting me in the face.
Yeah. I'm sure on one of my videos from probably 2022, the Scott's there in the banana costume again at Parkrun. It's a regular thing.
Right.
Right. What's next? Next one is from Gary Manders. And he put, cheers for the entertainment this year. A right couple of Herberts, but always good value. I'm going early with predictions for 2025. Injury-free Brett, sub 17-minute 5K, and a 2:48 marathon.
Wow.
And Andy, sub 19-minute 5K, and a 3:05 marathon.
Oh, I love
Personally,
that.
As I edge ever closer to 60 years, I can keep maintaining around 25 minutes for 5K and 53 to 54 minutes for 10K and continue to drive those around me balmy. I'll be happy. Best wishes to you both in 2025. Gary, thank you so much for your support. You have been one of the OGs from the start, and it's always good to hear from you. So, thank you for keeping us company over this past year.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate. Happy New Year.
But that means in Valencia, your target is a 3:05, according to Gary.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in summer when I'm sort of getting ready to get training for it, but it's going to be there or thereabouts, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Right. Next is friend of the podcast, Mac. And he said, regarding the sub 20 split accuracy, my first 3 kilometers were all 3:58 with me tracking behind Andy. So your first 3 kilometers were dead on. GPS wonk, I suppose. I do force all and multi-band on my Garmin for what it's worth.
Right. Yeah. That was in reference to when I did that sub 20 then. Yeah.
Yeah. So, at Swiss Cole says, so this is on our episode 48, which was the last one of 2024.
Yeah.
And he said, 2 hours 47. Yeah, I'm taking the proverbial. Seriously, guys, you are awesome. Keep up the great content. Happy New Year. Here's to a 2025 full of PBs. Also, please mention the Aldridge 10K, my club's annual event. It's a great course, definitely not flat, but very popular and always sells out. Thanks for all your hard work, Cole.
Fair play.
So if anybody is looking for a 10K race this year, the Aldridge 10K is one to go for.
Did we really do a 2 hour 47 podcast?
We did, yes. I know.
What were we talking about?
God knows. You tell me.
2 hours. That's ridiculous. You could almost run a marathon in that time. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, according to Gary, you can. Well, 2:48, but not far off.
Steve Oxocube says, as much as I love almost all aspects of running, cross country brings back horrible memories of PE, cross country running at school. Yeah, very true. But he also says, high-tech silver shadows used to be the trainers they gave you in basic training in the forces. They say those trainers have injured more soldiers than enemy action.
I used to have silver shadows. What a blast from the past that is. Brilliant. I remember high-tech silver shadows. That's hilarious.
Andy Goldsby says, blushing after your praise of him. Thanks so much for your kind words, Andy, and huge congrats again on what has been an amazing year for you. Also, huge congrats to Brett on your 5K PB. Here's to a great 2025. Can't wait to see what you guys plan for the year. Love listening to the pod. Usually have it on in the background when working away. Possibly why I never get any work done. Hope to catch you both soon. Amazing. Cheers, Andy.
This is run director from Arrow Valley. Sometimes run director from Arrow Valley.
The Great 772 says, awesome guys, love the pod. Are you able to get the FOD runner on for 2025? You guys and the FOD runner are in my top 5 running rotation playlist. In that 5 mile, in that 5 mile, I beat my previous 5K by 30 seconds in windy conditions at 21:50. Need to get a proper 5K racing. So, this was the guy that was going to try and break his 5K PB during a 5 mile race. And he did. Ran 21:50 for the 5K. Yeah. But, the FOD runner would be a great guest, but we're possibly a bit too small for his lofty height now, aren't we?
We might be a bit lowbrow as well, talking about aliens and Gary Barlow. He's more bicarb and we're more blooming. We're actual bicarb, yeah.
Brilliant. Lee Chesterton again says, on the last one of the year last year, says, I may be a little late to notice this, but, and I think he's the first one to actually comment on this, but has anyone else noticed that all of your episodes have song titles?
I bet you love that. You've finally been...
Yes. So, that has been a little thing that I've done since, episode 3? I think I started it. And I just went, right, I'm going to make every single one of our episodes a song title and try and fit it in somewhere.
Some of them have play on words and some of them are just,
straight up song titles,
Favourite one of all time, Run to Woo. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The one when we had Will on, Run to Woo. Brilliant.
Yeah. So, they are all song titles. I just, try and find one that links up with what we've been talking about for that week. Sometimes it can take me a long time to find it, and sometimes it just, happens straight away. So, Stephen Oxocube again says, looking forward to the all I got to do is not eat up branded merch.
Let's get that on some t-shirts.
Yeah. Run Like a T-Rex, which I think is Dave, says, great podcast and really enjoyed listening and following you both this year. Congrats on the PBs. AI has just highlighted that Brett could be in the Panto next year as the bearded lady. Yeah, it could be the pantomime dame. Wishing you
definitely.
both a happy and healthy 2025. Looking forward to watching the journey for London, Valencia, and any other mental challenges you decide to take on. Leeds. As an aside, did you see the results from Valencia 10K? Not only the British road record going to Royal Leonard in 27:38, but over 150 male runners and 4 female runners going sub 30 minutes. So yeah, we did talk about that last week, didn't we, with a new British record? But yeah, 154 people that is going sub 30. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah. So then we move on to last week's episode. So Lydia Brooks says, "So glad you're back." So thank you so much, Lydia. We are happy to be back as well. Matt Southam says, "They're back. They're back. Honey, they're back."
I saw Matt Southern, right? So if anybody watches a channel on YouTube called Crown My Run, on their latest video, they did a 5K. It must have been a parkrun. It must have been a parkrun, yeah. And towards the end, I think this D Mills was hunting down 2 runners, and he caught one, but the other one kicked really hard in the last 800 meters, and he just could not catch him. And they put the results up at the end, and one of them was none other than Matt Southam. Now that could be the one that got away, and that could be coincidence, but I think it might have been our very own Matt Southam. So if that was you, Matt,
amazing,
superb running, and it's always good not to be overtaken on the old YouTube. So fair play.
Oh yeah, especially in the last little bit of parkrun, you can't get overtaken at the end of parkrun. Then Lizzie Bear 800 says, "Yay, glad to see you both back." Thank you, Lizzie. Friend of the podcast, Mac, says, "Cheers for the long run company. Podcast was the perfect length. Hashtag no sub 2." Jay Leak says, "Glad you're back and glad you're here. Glad to hear you're joining us in Leeds. Although, yes, it is a very tough course, the support around most of it is out of this world. The final mile or so before entering the rugby stadium is special."
Amazing. I can't wait.
You got that to look forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, see you there.
Maverick Mike Runs says, "Good to see you guys back together. Good to see you back on the screen again, Andy, because I've seen Brett's first episode of the year. So I've actually put an episode out this year before you have on YouTube."
You're beating me.
Yeah. I know. Amazing. So yeah, we're all looking forward to your videos coming back.
Don't hype it up too much. I don't think they're going to be out as that good, but go on.
And then last one is Kieran Turner, and he says, "Good to have you back, fellas. Maths Australia will be on in the background in our house, so I will probably have to endure it again. Legend. Forgot to reply to what you to your what are you doing in this year post, but endure 24 Reading for me, 100 miles potentially, with no fast marathons planned." So he's not planning a fast marathon this year, but he's going to go for 100 miles in 24 hours at the Endure 24.
Wow, that's mega. Because I know Kieran did a 100-mile run in 2023, I think, which is when he did loops. I think it was down in Kent, down in near Dover, I think, and he just did loops for 100 miles. And I'm not sure if he broke 24 hours or not. So maybe that's why he's got his eye on, doing the 100 miles within the 24. So yeah. Best of luck, K-Dog.
Yes, definitely. And just an aside to that, thank you so much to the extra followers and YouTube subscribers we had this week. We are now over that 500 barrier, which is ace. So
thank you.
Here's to the next 500 and getting over that 1,000 subscriber barrier. But yeah, 500. We are on 509 now.
Wow.
So yeah, keep up.
Don't unsubscribe.
Yes, please don't. Yeah, but get all your friends and family to subscribe to the nonsense.
Yeah, So if you've got friends and family that like aliens, you know where to send them. We've had some email. Is that most of the comments? Is that all the comments?
That is all the comments done. Yes.
Well, we've got. Where are we at now? 148. We've had some emails here from Heidi, Amelia, Reese, Mitch, D, Andy, and I think that's it. So we might not be able. What I'll do is I'll read them in order of that they were sent, and if we don't have time, we will do them first thing next episode.
Yes.
Because some of these emails have got questions as well. So we'll start with Heidi. Now, this is from Heidi Bush, and she starts off by saying, "Good day, Brett and Andy."
Amazing.
I've just watched Andy's epic sub 20. This is how long ago we haven't read the emails out. So I do apologize if you have sent us an email. We will get around to it. I've just watched Andy's epic sub 25k video. And while that's on Andy's channel, I had to write to you both here because seeing you both do that was brilliant. Brett, you're a pacer supremo, not just for your amazing skill in keeping pace, but because you have such a perfect blend of encouragement. You've got this, Andy, and tough love. I need you on my shoulder, Andy. If you're not in front of me by the end of this path, a huge congratulations to you both. I actually felt myself getting a bit emotional as I watched because it was such a beautiful display of mateship. Seeing Andy flanked by his mates and supporters pacing him, giving encouragement, drive up the hill, drive your arms was just awesome. You are the best, not just because of the content, but because of the message you send with such a positive approach to running and supporting each other and supporting others. I've watched and listened to you both from the start, and it's always a highlight to have either you join me for a chat or for a run. This year has been a hard one. My running was going so well. I just run a half marathon PB of 1:36:32, which was a 5-minute PB on my previous half marathon. I was feeling good, and at 53 years old, I was still getting faster and still setting PBs at every distance. I was training for marathon number 9 and on track for a PB there too when disaster struck with a freak accident involving me and a heavy encounter with concrete that left me with a fracture at the top of my femur. 2 surgeries later and some screws in my bone, I'm still not back to running, but can at least walk and have returned to Parkrun every week to walk it and cheer on the runners going past me. So now I get to run by seeing and hearing about your running adventures and achievements while I used to take you on a long run with me. Now I take you on a long walk as I continue to rehab and hope to start the return of running in the next month or so. Thanks, guys, for everything that you do, the running, the laughs, the banter, and the positive attitude that you send to us all. I hope that 2025 brings you amazing running with some PBs scattered amongst it all, and I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing all about it. Cheerio from Tasmania, Australia, Heidi Bush. Go Barry's videos. Heidi, thank you so much.
Yeah, Heidi, that's an amazing email, and I am so sorry that had happened. But to hear you are back on the road to recovery and you are back walking in long walks is a great thing to hear. So, keep up the good work and hope the recovery keeps on going the way it is.
Yeah, and we hope that you're going on some seriously long walks because these podcasts are getting longer and longer every week. So, so sorry to hear about your accident, and hope that you're okay physically, obviously, and mentally, and hope that this podcast can just, at least, if nothing else, put a smile on your face. And the good times will return. So don't you worry about that. Yeah. So what I think we'll do, we've got 2 more emails. We'll read Amelia's and we'll read Reese's, and then we'll leave Mitch's and D. Cook Reese and Andy's for next week. So let's go to Amelia. And guess where we're staying? In Australia, because Amelia is from Australia. So, hello, Brett and Andy. Happy 2025 to both of you and your families. 2025 is going to be a great year. I'm doubting that she's an Aussie now. I think she is, because I think Amelia's written in. If you're not from Australia, Amelia, I'm sorry. I've just made it out like you are. Okay. I've already started my training block for the April marathon, and I'm super pumped to avenge my past self for the 2 failed attempts to hit the target. 3rd time's a charm, right? Right, she says. Anyway, on to questions. Now, we'll answer these one at a time. Brett and Andy, do you prefer to have training blocks in summer or summer and autumn for an autumn race, or winter and spring for a spring race?
Ooh, I've never done a autumn marathon. I've only ever done a spring marathon. So all of my marathon training blocks have always been in winter. And I actually love the winter training. I love the fact that as you are training, the weather gets better and better. The days get longer and longer, and you end up running in a great conditions compared to where you started the block, where it was miserable and you had to really struggle to get yourself out there and actually run the miles. It becomes a really good reward knowing what's coming up. Whereas I'm not sure how it's going to feel doing Valencia training throughout summer to then do Valencia Marathon. But obviously Valencia was nice and warm for you. So I don't know.
That is, I mean, everything you've just said, I'm exactly the opposite. So
really?
by nature, I'm quite a lazy person, if you hadn't noticed already. And I do struggle to get out of bed and get those long runs done, especially when it's pitch black outside and -3. I don't know. I find it easier to put things off. And especially when things are hard at the start of a training block, when you're feeling a bit sluggish, I don't know. I used to think I really liked the crisp cold weather, which I do, don't get me wrong, but running in it when it's dark, yeah. But compare that to a nice summer's evening run. You know, it's late July or August. You can go out at 9 o'clock at night in a singlet, or in your case, Brett, just topless. And you can just, you know, you don't have to think too much, and things just feel a bit easier in the summer. And all you've got to deal with is a bit of humidity and heat and stuff. And I don't know, for me personally, just purely because that's my personality, I'm just lazy and I just find any excuse not to do things. So if that's cold weather, I just won't do things. So I think I'm more productive in the summer. And as it's getting cooler, I'm getting fitter. So I'm more equipped to deal with the cold weather, I think. But anyway, so yeah, sounds like we're complete opposites on that. Right, the second question. Brett and Andy, imagine, I like this. Imagine you're at 35k of your next marathon race, brackets, that's mile 21 to 22 for you, Brett. It's been a tough grind. You've really had to push in the last couple of Ks, but you've paced yourself well enough you've paced yourself well enough so that the target PB is still within reach. What one song do you want to hear, either in your earphones or from a DJ speaker on the street, to lift your spirits and help you push through those last kilometers and miles?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Never going to give you up?
That is a great song, but I don't think it gets me pumped up enough to push through pain. I don't know.
While you're thinking, I'm a big fan of 70s, not metal, but like 70s rock. And if I hear some AC/DC, in fact, Amelia, love that because they're Aussies. I just, you know, when I hear that first opening riff of Back in Black, it's just yes. Ooh, yeah, just that loud guitar, loud drums, and just blah, blah, I still don't know the words. It's just screaming the whole way through. Let loose from the noose. That's the only bit I know. But yeah, probably something like Back in Black or something like that, or maybe even Motorhead, Ace of Spades, something like that, or something with a heavy lick, a heavy riff for me.
Okay. Something that always brings my mood up is, I don't know if you've ever heard of them. My favorite band ever in the history of music is a band called no, it's a band called Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah.
And just some of their songs are epic.
Quite metally. Are they metally?
Yeah. They're basically a modern prog band. So some of their songs are metally, some of their songs are poppy, some of them are proggy, where they just change throughout the whole song and doesn't really repeat anything. But yes, some of their songs are epic. But then along with that, just to bring your mood up and make you happy, some early 2000s pop punk or emo or something like that would be
bit of Sum 41.
Would be really good. Just to bring your mood up.
Give it to me, baby. Bit of The Offspring.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, something upbeat and quick.
The opposite to like Radiohead.
Yes, exactly. Exactly that.
The opposite of Lana Del Rey.
And back when I used to listen to music when I ran, I don't on a Sunday. On any day I don't listen to music while I run now. The only time I listen to music is when I'm in the gym doing my S&C, or on a Monday when I go on my easy runs. But I tend to listen to podcasts now rather than music. So I hardly ever listen to music running. But back when I did, one song that always got me going and picked up the pace was Bangarang by what's his name? Who was the dubstep guy?
Dubstep.
Come on.
Mate, I don't know.
Everyone's going to be screaming at the thing now. To Skrillex.
Okay, I know Skrillex. Yeah.
Skrillex song Bangarang just gets you going big time. But on that note, did you know Skrillex, right? Obviously, is a dubstep artist, and it's very much that style. Did you know he used to be the singer in a band called From First to Last, who were a proper screamo band? So he used to be the singer, like, of a quite heavy screamo band, and then transitioned to writing dubstep. Bizarre.
Did not know that.
Well, you do
it's
now.
Quite a crossover of genres.
Yeah.
Very cool. Right, so the third of 4 questions is, Brett and Andy, oh no, it's a new world order and runners can no longer enter races across different distances. You can still train however you want, but you will only be able to race one distance for the rest of your life.
Ooh.
What distance do you choose and why? Ooh. I think we might have the same sort of answer here. I think.
Yeah. My favorite.
After 3, oh no, it's gonna. Should you say after 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not right. I'm not sure whether the delay is just sound or whether it's sound and video. So if we count, there's going to be a delay. Whereas if we do that, there's still going to be a delay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it both then. 1, 2, 3. Half marathon. Yeah, you can't beat a half. It's unbeatable. Yeah. It's just that perfect distance of.
Yeah. It's
like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
It's a challenge because it's a long distance, so it's a proper good challenge. But you can get away with it with going out a little bit too hot and hanging on. As I was saying earlier, the marathon is a different beast. I love the marathon, but it can absolutely chew you up and spit you out, and you can absolutely, completely crumple into a ball from the marathon. Whereas
it's manageable, isn't it? You can do Sunday long run for the rest of your life at half marathon. You can't really be doing marathons every Sunday, can you?
Exactly. So the half, I love the fact that you can just go in absolutely smash out a half.
I'd quite happily if I was Prime Minister, I would put a ban on 10K races. I think they're just uncalled for, really. So I'd get rid of 10Ks because I really dislike 10Ks. But yeah, they are quite necessary. But yeah, for us both, I think we're big half marathon fans.
The half.
So
definitely.
we didn't even mention that we're both racing a half marathon on Sunday.
Yes,
the Warwick
we are.
half, and we will talk all about that next week. And the last one, assuming that you get to my email before then, you're coming up to your 50th episode soon. Are you planning to do anything special, or are you planning to do it business as usual? Well, I'll be honest, Amelia, we're planning to talk about mostly aliens. And we
are planning to, in the couple of minutes before we start recording, just get some lights up.
There you go. Don't say we don't give you anything special. Once again,
some planning is
3 minutes before we go on air. That's all it is. So she finishes by saying, once again, thanks so much for keeping the podcast alive. It's such a treat, and I always look forward to listening to it. Thank you. Happy running. Thanks, Amelia. P.S. It is the Amelia we're thinking about. In response to your question, episode 48, no, I have not done Sydney Marathon yet, even with the changes they introduced last year. It's still quite a hilly course, and I'm all about chasing those sweet PBs. In saying that, during my work trip last month, I ran part of the course, and I can say that it is a beauty. Sydney's skyline is stunning, and when you're running over the harbour bridge, no, I've read that badly. I didn't stress the sentence properly. Sydney skyline is stunning when you're running over the harbour bridge. I don't live in Sydney, but it's a great place to visit. So there you go. That's what you got to look forward to. Well, any of those if you are doing Sydney?
I've been running Sydney marathon recently. That confused you, didn't it? On the cross trainer at the gym, you can. It's a bit like the static bikes, so they're all iFit machines, and on the screen you can either have an image of a track, so you're just going round and round a track, and it's just like a basic image of an oval, and it just shows how far around the track you've got. Or you can do workouts, and some of the workouts that are on there at the moment are the first 5K of the Sydney Marathon, the next 10K of the Sydney Marathon, the next half marathon, and the final 5K. So I've been putting that on and just watching people running the Sydney Marathon whilst on the cross trainer.
I'm very tempted to enter the ballot 2026. Maybe, baby. But on the subject of Australia, one thing that I read the other day that I have to tell you, which I think is brilliant. You might have even heard this before, but let's get this right. The population of Uruguay is 3.45 million. In Australia, there are 47 million kangaroos. If the kangaroos decide to invade Uruguay, every Uruguayan has to fight 14 kangaroos. If kangaroos decide to invade Uruguay, imagine fighting 14 kangaroos.
Well, it reminds me of the Mighty Boosh episode, the Killeroo episode.
Oh, yeah.
Howard Moon has to box the kangaroo.
He's being disemboweled. That is a good one. I'll just quickly see how long Reese's email is, and then we'll finish with Reese's email. So, hi both. I hope that you're both well. By the way, thank you, Amelia, for your email. That was lovely.
Thank you. That was amazing.
I was bloody bonzer, mate.
You flaming galah.
I hope that you're both well. I just want to take a minute to say what an absolute banger your podcast is. I came across it towards the end of November 2024 and started listening. This turned into a 6-week binge listen during my commute, long runs, and working a late shift. I caught up on all the episodes by New Year's Day and was left a little heartbroken that I don't have another one to listen to. You both work really well together on the podcast, and the regular tangents add to the experience. It's like listening to a couple of best mates, and you really get drawn into it all. Keep up the amazing work with the podcast and running, and here is to many new PBs for all in 2025. looking forward to listening to the podcast in 2025 and using them to get through my long runs in training for Manchester, which will be my first marathon. Ooh. London was my bucket list first marathon, but we all know how that ballot goes. 3 rejections so far. Huge thanks for the great podcast. Regards, Reese IG. His Instagram is run.with.reese with 2 E's, REECE. So thanks, Reese. Thanks for waiting for us to finally get some more videos up.
That is a proper binge, especially as our episodes aren't short.
That is some serious listening, or watching, however you consume it. But thank you so much, Reese, and hope your training for Manchester has started well, because you'll probably be 2 or 3 or maybe even more weeks in.
Yeah,
because Manchester is the same day as London, isn't it?
It is, yes, yeah.
So that's very very exciting.
Best of luck, Reese. Best of luck. So, shall we leave the other emails until next episode?
Yeah, we will start with them after the probably 20 minutes of just codswallop that we'll come up with after the next episode.
Mm-hmm. So we should possibly then go to the Strava segment.
Just wow. It's so delicate. Sends shivers down my spine.
And last week's leaders. So, wow. I think this is the first time this has happened. So, our distance leader
is it a draw?
Last week, no. But Martin Peck ran 101 miles, 101.6 miles. I think that's the first time it's been over 100 miles for the for the leader. So 101.6 Martin Peck ran. Amazing.
Jesus.
And then in second was Kyle Blacketter with 80.1 miles. And third was Nicholas Forsman with 74.7 miles. And our climbing leader was Martin Peck again. But I'm not surprised with 101 mile. And he did 5,909 feet of climbing. Second was Jack Blackburn with 5,594, and third was Nick Ireland with 4,656.
Very well done, gents.
Amazing work. And then I need to find top 3 ladies. So hang on, I really should check this out first, shouldn't I? First place was Chloe Hamard with 56.4 miles. And actually, on that note, I need to say thank you to Chloe because I was entering Warwick Half last night and I thought, oh man, 40 quid. And then I went through to the checkout and it went plus £2 fees. And I was like, 42 quid to enter the half marathon. And then I found Chloe's 10% off code and used Chloe's 10% off code for 10% off.
Awesome.
Which was amazing. So thank you very much, Chloe, for that. Second place was Leanne Byard, or Biard, however you say it, with 55.2. And then third was Victoria Lee with 45.2 miles. So great work from everybody, and well done to those who were on the top of the leaderboard this week.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks so much, everyone, for being part of the Strava group. If you're not involved, get yourself involved.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, go and join the club. We shall continue that. I've just remembered. Do you know he was talking about what we forgot to talk about last week before we even started recording this week, and we couldn't remember what we hadn't mentioned.
Have you remembered it?
I've just remembered what it is.
Go on.
So, on the 29th of December last year, I went down to the hospital to have an ultrasound, and I have got a hernia. So I watched on the TV screen whilst he was doing the ultrasound. Instead of seeing a baby, I saw a little bit of fat go through my muscle every time I tensed my lower abs. So the thing I've been pushing back in every time I go for a run or have a hard day of work or cough is a hernia. So they've said the only way to fix it is surgery, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet. So I'm hoping I won't hear anything until about May time, because the recovery is 6 to 8 weeks. So I can't be doing that before London. So fingers crossed, May time, I'll be doing that. But it means I'm going to have 6 to 8 weeks off running, which is a bit rubbish.
Yeah. So if anyone asks, you're doing jury service.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm on holiday. Yeah.
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 For what? For 8 weeks? Yeah.
Yeah.
What, until exactly after the London Marathon? Yeah, it's just unfortunate the way
it's just the way it's worked out. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. In fact, book me in for the Monday after the Marathon. Fine, but just not before. Definitely not before.
Exactly. But I mean, it's bad that there is a hernia actually poking through the muscle tissue and the muscle fibers, but I've run with it now for the past 18 months. So hopefully another few months won't make it too bad. So yeah we'll see.
You should draw a little face on him.
Yeah.
Draw a mouth, and then when it pops out, it looks like he's sticking his tongue out.
Yeah. But there we go. So yeah, I think that is pretty much this week's pod done. Just at the end of this episode, I've decided, because it's episode 50, I'm going to do something which I don't do very often, and that is if anybody would. What?
Are you going to rap or something?
I don't rap very often, but I thought I would this week.
50 Cent.
No, but what I was going to say is I am going to offer a discount on my Obi-Wan storefront. So if you use the code RTRL50, you will get 20% off on my website. So if you were eyeing up an Obi-Wan Run Club tee or a beanie, reflective beanie, or one of the caps, if you want 20% off, go and use the code RTRL50 on my website.
Code HERNIA.
Yeah. So, thank you so much to everybody for listening or watching over these past 50 episodes. I can't quite believe we've managed to get to 50. Remember when we first started and we said, if we reach that magic number of 7, we've done well.
Yeah.
And now we're on 50 and we're over a year in. So
we can't stop.
Yeah. It's amazing that so many.
Come on. Right, we'll get demonetized. I've got to turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support over the last year. Whether you've been here since episode 1, like old Gary Manders, or whether you've just joined us for this episode, we really do appreciate every single one of you.
Or if you like Reese and just listen to us like in some sort of padded cell or something, because you don't want any external, you don't want to know what's going on in the real world. He's like, I've got to listen to the podcast. I've got to listen to all. Yeah, definitely. So, thank you so much. And we will be back again next week. Cheers, guys. See you guys. Take it easy. Imagine fighting 14 kangaroos.
Put them up.